Hello and welcome. I'm Bill Wake. We're working on the DECT project. The idea is we're going to take pictures of index cards and somehow pull them into the machine and manipulate them in the virtual world instead of the physical world, take another picture and be able to match them up. And we're kind of to the point of trying to match up sets of cards. We've done a little work. We did a bit of work to get a similar card matched up to a similar card, and I think I think we've finished that for one card. I don't think we know the cutoffs and stuff because that's all done by the vision system, and we'll have to experiment a little. Let's see. So, oh, and I should say I'm in the process of moving, and I'm here this week. So today and Sunday, but next week and the week after, I will almost certainly not be available, and I'm just not sure after that when and what's going to happen. I know I'm going to miss the last Sunday, or the last Friday in April, and then the following Sunday I'll probably be gone too. But we'll see. It's hard to keep the project going when I come in and it's just like, oh, somebody did some stuff. Wonder what they did. But that's kind of where I am. So anyway, let's see. I kicked off tests and they're still running. I had to reinstall stuff or something to start up Xcode. So who knows? Let's see. I don't know if it's got a screen even. Yeah, it's starting slow. Okay, so our last idea was we want to match against existing cards, import a new set, and see if a card is present. We'll keep it. Excuse me, with the new placement. So let's say the card was on the bottom of the pile or the bottom of the grid, and we take a picture where it's on the top of the grid. The card should move up to the top of the grid. If the card is omitted, we want to move it to some omitted list. And if it's new, we want to, of course, add it. So probably new and present and new are probably more related than deleting. Okay. And I think where we left off, the idea was maybe we should, right now, I don't know, I think our tableau is representing the position of all the cards. And I think, I don't know, maybe I think what we may need to do is make each photo have its own tableau, and then we blend them to make a new tableau. And I don't know, I'm borrowing that word from like solitaire, sort of the arrangement of the cards in the grid. I'm not even quite sure it's the right word there, but the previous words I had were worse, so there you go. Okay, the other thing we had going on is we have a syntax error. I guess this is describing it. We have a Yacht 1 and a Yacht 2 image, same cards in different orders, and different, or maybe it's just this, yeah, same cards in different order, maybe slightly edited visually. When we first load a picture and we go find the cards, we did some tuning work on that, and it's pretty good right now about finding the cards. And when it finds them, it draws a little red rectangle around them. Then we had a button that says switch to the other image, the Yacht 2 image, and it tries to find those rectangles, and it draws a bunch of rectangles, but they don't really match up to the cards. And yet, when we load the actual cards, it's pulling the right stuff out of the rectangle. So it's probably some sort of display issue. And while I was thinking about that this week, I thought, ooh, I should load Yacht 2 first and see if it gets the right rectangles. And then if Yacht 1 does not, when that loads in, it's the second card, then that sort of indicates that it's something about the first position or the first width or some first height getting priority or something like that. I know we said we'd set it aside, and I probably should, but I do want to try that experiment. Mostly I have no idea, and I also don't know where my simulator is running. See if I can find that. Oh, okay, so that's just getting restarted. Let's move that over here and a little out of the way. Okay, yeah, so I guess we just have to wait a minute. Ugh. I hate waiting. All right. So what else could we look at while that's going? Let's just do some code reading. Let's figure out this Tableau thing. What the heck is going on there? So back here, oh, we got some changes. Well, okay. So right now we have this notion of a card. It's got an ID, the image, the placement, which is where it's located on its grid coordinates, I guess. And then this notion of features. The features, this is a vision analytic thing. It goes through and it says things like, oh, there's a curved line over here and things like that. And it's sort of black box to us. We know it's like 2,000 floating point numbers and they mean something to it, but we don't really have insight into what that means. I mean, I think they publish some of what it means, but we're not going to attempt to decode it. The big thing is we can ask the distance from one set of features to another set of features, and I don't know. That almost feels like it's backwards, doesn't it? I think we should ask our features to relate themselves to the other features. It should theoretically be the same. It's distance, right? So it should be a mathematically defined to act like distance. Okay. We got some failing stuff going on here. Maybe that was irrelevant. Okay, let's see how this is looking. Good so far. Okay, well, there we go. Okay, so match against existing cards. Let's find the import. So content view. Oh, well, now I can play with the other theory. Let's try that instead. So we have image view. That's the opening image. And we'll see that in a second. And if you see here, we got a stack, a vertical stack. So it's just the image followed by import cards, followed by next image. So it starts with yacht 2, or starts with yacht 1, and then, jumps to yacht 2. Let's find yacht 1 in there. Okay. So we're going to try running it with those things switched. And I mean, honestly, what I'm doing, experiment with, let's just say rectangle drawing. Okay, so here's yacht 2. It's taller than yacht 1. So let's import cards. And the vision system's off running around, and it's going to come back and draw some red rectangles. Okay, they're still off. Interesting. No, to my eye, they look like they're about half a card down too low, maybe a little more. And that all looks like that. If we go to cards, it apparently is finding them quite well. I mean, they're not chopped in half or anything, so it's doing the right thing in terms of coming back with a list of rectangles that we can use to extract cards. But somehow between there and drawing on the screen, this is messed up. Now let's look at the next image. Here's more of a horizontal arrangement, and this one does really good. Now, I don't know, there's some stuff to critique. It does look a touch off to me. I don't know if I can read that. System total score. Okay, so if I go in here, I should find system total score. Now, you see we got the same one twice, different shades, because we've imported both sets. System total score. I mean, that looks pretty good. It doesn't look like it just chopped off the S. So there's something going on that's a little funny on these rectangles. We're going to have to see how they're drawn. But I guess that experiment, it showed me that it really is drawing something wrong. So we'll just record that and go from there. DKT-22-12. Oof. And this is the 18th. So what we found was yacht 2 is marked wrong, or marked. How about yacht 2's rectangles are misplaced too far down, even though it pulls out the right card contents. Okay, so I don't propose to fix that. I'm surprised because I thought what would happen is I thought it would draw the first one correctly and the second one incorrectly. So there may be something just flat out wrong in our image location stuff. One thing I know is these things, the coordinate system of this image drawn on the page is different than the coordinate system of the vision services when they find stuff. So in the drawing on the page, 0, 0 is up here, and N is down here, and the other one 0, 0 is here. So we flip the y coordinates to get them, but maybe we're making some adjustment because I don't know, like the top, the bottom, I don't know. Are we adjusting by half a card or something? Maybe we're doing the adjustment wrong. Okay. But this horizontal issue, I don't know what's going on there. That puzzles me. Okay. But like I said, we're going to set it aside. It's not that it's not an issue, because it is, but it's pulling the right cards, and I'm more worried about matching the existing cards. I think we're going to have to do some work on, like, how do you get your inputs and stuff. The tuning we did got us pretty close. I mean, it missed one card, but I think it worked pretty well. So I don't know if we need to allow for manual adjustment of the tuning, or how maybe even manually marking cards. I don't know. All right. So now let's go back and figure out this existing card stuff. Okay. So put yacht 1 back. And yacht 2 down here. Now, this is not the long-term direction of this thing. We want to really integrate with the photo stuff, but I'm prioritizing things. It really is, I mean, I have no idea how to do a lot of this stuff. I have things where I go like, I know this can be done. So if it's in that category, it's not exactly a solved problem, but it's sort of somebody solved it. And I want to focus more on the things that I'm doing more uniquely myself, and try and figure out, what I should be doing there. So that's why I'm focused more on this matching and less on the drawing and stuff like that. Here you can see the drawing. So it draws a line, the width, the rectangle. Let's see. And I'm going to get backwards. One of these is the rectangle that it's drawing in, and the other is the width and height, and those are 0 to 1. They're a proportion, 0 to 1 of the rectangle width. So there's some room for something to go wrong there, and then somewhere inside our code we flip the y coordinate to match and things like that. So that's why I say there's some stuff going on. All right. Let's control I. Yep. All right. Let's check in since we were green. And let's take a diff on this. Oh, I think we basically, maybe I just renamed. Yeah. Renamed compute distance to feature distance. Okay, just kind of a naming convention. All right, so refactor. Push. Okay. Let me just take a peek here. Okay, make sure that was still showing. Hopefully you're hearing my voice as well. Okay, so what happens is we create this tableau is our observed position of everything. And let's go in here. Okay, so Tableau is observable, and really it knows how to sort things, and it lets you add cards, and it lets you delete them. Okay, so I don't think there's much intelligence there. It's the set of cards. Okay, let's go back to content view. Okay, so what happens when we import? So with import, we basically ask the rectangle finder to go dig up these rectangles that the vision system identifies, turn each one into a card, and add the card to the tableau. Now, when we do next image, we're doing the same thing. We're basically resetting and saying the current image is yacht2.jpg, and the list of rectangles identified is now empty, and so you can do an import and add those to the tableau. Notice we did not clear out the tableau. So the way it is now, the tableau is kind of this container for everything. I don't know if that's I just don't know. I get confused sometimes because like you have to be careful when you have these observable objects and all that stuff. Like we're trying to make it pick those up. Okay, I don't want that. Let's go back to below. I mean, that just is a simple container. We're just appending the cards and oh, interesting. Adding them. Well, adding them one at a time, we just append them. If you add a group of them, we sort them. So are we adding a group? Import cards. We get the cards and we make a set of them. Okay, so this isn't an import like that. Okay, and in to do. So the idea was we want to import a new set, and then like somehow I almost want to, well, when I'm adding a card or adding a set, tableau. Let's put that over here. Okay, when I'm adding a set of cards, instead of just adding them, I think I should be saying you only add them if they're new. And if they're not new, I don't know, you're updating them? It's really turning this from a list-like object to a set-like object. And it's like who's the decider? Who enforces the set nature of this thing? What I want to say is if you add a card and it's already there, I think you want to add the new one and delete the old one. That's sort of saying my best picture is my latest picture and my best position is my latest position. But the other thing with that makes me worry a little. I guess I'm worried about the ones that were already there. They just look funny. And so maybe I need a new tableau or maybe I need to reconceive of it. I talk about omitted stuff here. I think maybe there's two tableaus we care about, and well, we don't have this notion of omitted because the problem is if I just leave them blended together, I've got the old set and the new set. The new ones have their new positions. They're all fine. The old ones still have positions, probably in the middle of the new ones somewhere. And that's just wrong. They weren't even in the picture of the new ones. So they should move down to the bottom somehow. Um, Now, I don't know. Hmm. So real one way to do this would be build a new tableau, and then we need to merge them, and maybe that makes a third tableau. I don't know. Um, and this is where I'm not 100% sure on this stuff. If I reassign this, I mean, I guess it could be immutable. Hmm. All right, let's look again. So Tableau is created dot add. What if doing this took out your Tableau? Let's try that. I'm just gonna reassign it. This is practically a spike because I just don't know what the consequence is. Okay, so I'm saying install a new Tableau. So I'm in effect throwing away the old images. I know that. Okay, cannot assign. Self is immutable. So I'm allowed to modify it, but I'm not allowed to reallocate it. Okay, that kind of fits. These are structs. They're supposed to be read-only. Okay, but you've got an object. It's a read-only pointer to a changeable object, if I can say it that way. Okay. And then state, you're allowed to just change those because you've marked them state and they're not really part of the struct in a sense. Okay. Let's see. So Tableau. What I almost want to do, and maybe this is the way to do it. I want to import. I almost want an insert. Like that would be a step forward. Hmm. Can I identify these things? At some point, I also talked about like version numbers on cards coming in or something like that, and maybe this is the point we want that. Um, should the Tableau be aware of that? I don't know. There's so many design choices. I'm feeling like I'm flailing a little here. Okay. Um, so when you do this, when you get this far, you've got this list of cards, and they are really just the cards built up from the rectangles that those cards we saw the images of. That's kind of what this is. We've cropped the whole image to the bounds of the rectangle, and we included the original coordinates so we can find it or we can place it. I'm gonna say you should create a new Tableau. See, I almost want to say instead of add, you should be doing insert, or maybe it's add, but there's a priority. Okay, so let's do that. Let's give our cards a priority. Okay, or a version, and this is like the import number. Um, and I think in a way it's version. Okay, so when you create cards, I think what I want to say is you tell me um, you tell me what the card's version is. Okay? And I want to clarify this placement. I think I can just say position and I'll be a lot happier in my life because I keep mixing that thing up. That's the position on its original grid. Okay. And let's find a card test. Okay. Let's check that cards know their version number. This is all okay. Card is hashable and equatable. Yeah. Really, version is part of this. Okay, and maybe I should make it first. All right, let's do it. Card 1A, if this is version. So if my assumption is if you have cards. Well, it almost doesn't matter, right? I guess I really want to make sure cards know their version. And even if it's the same version, that doesn't matter. Okay, so let's make a version. Let version equals 42. Let's put it in here as part of this. Okay, they should be the same. They should be complaining. It'll get there. All right. Jump to definition. I've said cards are going to have versions now. And I've decided that's important enough that it's in the constructor. Whoops. Where's my test? We'll just do version 1. These two are same image, same rectangle. They should match. Okay, these two, it really doesn't matter that the versions are the same. From different images. Okay. And now my complaint is version doesn't know anything about that extra argument. Okay, card doesn't know anything. Okay, so I'm saying there should be a version is int, and hopefully that gets people to stop complaining, although it might not. Okay, good. Let's see if that tests. We're not looking at the version yet, so it should just be passed along. Who are you? Okay, ONR. And well, I'm just gonna hard code it for now. These are more cards. One. And this is why I don't like it, but I think your load number, maybe that's a better name than version. All right. Anybody else? The problem is, and this happens often enough, the the object needs this field. The tests, 99% of them don't care about it, but the real usages will definitely have the right value for it. So that's always a little tricky. Okay, let's try again. And again, I haven't done anything with it, so let's add a test for that. All right. So I think all we're gonna say is card knows, and maybe is load number the right word? Um, let's just say version for now. Okay, so we got an image, got a card. Okay, and we're going to say that card.version equals maybe a version. Okay, so we got card version 7, and we create the card with the image and the version. I probably should reverse that order. Okay, create the card with the version and the image, and in the end, we should be able to ask the version and get it. Okay, and in this case, card has no field for that. I think we're going to say public. Let version be it. Okay, and we'll just default it for now and make sure the test fails. Whoops. Version. Oh, no, I thought I could do that in the initializer. Oh, I'll probably mixing up my names. Okay, should fail. All right, and if we store the version, all right, well, I think I'm expressing a fact about the world that I want to be true, that says that your load number is your version is part of your identity as a card, and the fact we haven't taken into account is when you sort things, we want to see the newest version before we see the previous version. Or in other words, we should sort by version descending in installing things in tableaus. Okay, so let's see what our do we have a comparison? Sorted by card 1, min x less than min y. Okay. Yeah, so I think I think what we want to say is it's really got to be the version. It's less than if the version is equal. Oh, how's that going to be? Well, let's start running some tests. Tableau tests. Okay. Well, I guess I can check this in. We've added version to card corresponds to the load number. Okay. And then we'll push that. Okay. And now in the Tableau, what I want to say is when you sort two cards to decide which one is first, I've got card placement less than, card placement less than Y, less than X. And it's getting more complicated. Okay. What I want to say is if card one version is greater than card two, how are you less? Well, you belong sooner if your version is higher, and within the ones that are the same, then you go by Y coordinate. And then the second one is trying to get the X coordinates, and I think oh, this is complicated. In effect, what I'm trying to do is sort two groups of these things and put them one after the other. Okay, let's set up a test situation. Maybe that will be enough. Okay. Yeah, so in this case, the versions are all the same, so they belong in the same sort. Um, Top row sort with no cards. Okay. Top row with cards in the same row. This is only taking ones that are in the same row. Maybe I have to sort by version first completely. And reset somehow. I don't know. Okay, so the test data. Okay, so somehow. Let's start with this. How about sort by version, then position? Okay, so we got card one. Well, let's do it like this. Card one, card two is in version two set. Version two of the image, I guess maybe, or the overall image. Let's card three. We're going to take one in version one. And then this one, card four, let's put it in version two. So I'm kind of mixing up the versions. Okay. X.5. All right. So if we sort all four cards, we know we want card two first. Let's see. His Y coordinate is higher than, or these are two of the version twos. So card two and card four. All right, I'm gonna swap those. I'm really trying to simulate getting out of order here. Okay, so card 2 and card 4 are in the version 2 load, so they should be in front. Okay, so card 2, y coordinate is 0.2. Card 4, y coordinate is 0.15. This card 4 should be first. Okay. Then card 1, 0.1. Card 3, 0.15. Okay, that seems like the right order. Let's keep that one the same. So that way if it's not sorting by y coordinate, we'll be able to tell the difference, I think. Okay. This should fail. Let's make sure it does. It should fail because it's not distinguishing versions yet. Oh. Did it run this test? Zero tests. Why didn't you test this? So, okay, there we go. Card 50, whatever, the order is not equal. It's the permutation. That looks all right, but it's not equal. All right, so that gives us something to do. Let's take a break, 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll come back and start enforcing that we sort by version before position and see what that does. My hope is that gives us the latest cards followed by the older cards. And we're not deduplicating cards at this point, so it's going to be the 2 full lists, but they'll be separated. All right, so take that break. See you in a bit. Welcome back. All right, let's see. So we left off. We've got these cards. We think our sorting is mostly we think our sorting is correct for a single version, but the multi-version sorting isn't working yet. So let's go in here. Okay. Well, I guess we're calling row sort. Okay. So tableau.row sort. So after adding a bunch of cards, you do a row sort, and the row sort basically it identifies the top card. So it's trying to identify the next highest row. And so it does a top sort with the list of cards. Okay, so while we still have cards to process, pull out the ones that fit in the top row. And then remove the cards you just put in. Okay, so it's sort of like finding the top row. Okay, so if we're out of cards, we're done. Sort them top to bottom. I don't know, this sorting already looks complicated enough. I hate to make it more complicated. You know what we can do? Maybe there's another layer to this. So right now what we do is we give you a list of cards and say, pull out the ones that correspond to the top row in this list. I think what we need to do is do that from a bunch of do a version sort first, or partition really. And so I think we need to run through the list of versions. Let's see what we got. It's an array. So let's do a little Googling here. Array in Swift. Now I think we have, I could swear there's like a partition. How are the functions? Create access. Well, we can do all satisfy. Prefix. No. There's a lot of functions on here. Partition. Reorder the elements such that all elements match the given predicate or after all elements that don't match. Well, that's a sort of 2-level one. Well, So what I want to do then, I really want to take the version of these things, and I don't know, I'd be happy with like, I guess I could put them in a hash map or something. You think that would be such a natural thing to do that it would be supported directly? Let's see if, is there hash map? Dictionary. Well, let's try Swift partition array to dictionary of key. Array to dictionary. I don't want to work that hard. Oh, lazy. Okay, let's just say partition array. Yeah. Partition by, arrange in 2 partitions. I know I can maintain a hash or a dictionary of key or version to value. No, that's not it. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I was looking to do. I don't care if it's stable even. Split it into chunks. Probably not what I want. No. Built-in partitions. Okay, I guess. Well, what I want is, given a list of cards, I want a dictionary of card version to card, and I want to be able to go through that dictionary in an ordered way. So I know there's an ordered dictionary out there. Let's look at that thing. Probably in here. Nope. Keeps track of insertion order. I don't care about that. Okay. So how can I make this go? Well, I'm gonna make a new function and sort. Give it input cards, and it returns cards in some order. And this is the thing I'm going to call here. Return row sort of input. So in effect, I'm just kind of doing a weird extract method, I guess. Same test should fail for the same reason, because this doesn't change any of that. Okay, so what I want to do, I'm going to make a dictionary. This is version to card equal of dictionary int to card starts out empty. Okay. And then I want to go through input dot for each, and this is a card in this thing. I want to say if no contains key, come on, you gotta have that. Has key, contains, where key and value goes to bool. I don't care about the card. Oh, okay. I go back to dictionary. What are we on? We should be able to find dictionary here. Okay. Well, I guess I could say subscript key equals null. Okay. If version to card sub. Oh, this keyboard's killing me. Okay. A version to card of card.version is null. In other words, we don't have anything with this version. Then we're going to say version to card dot Insert. No. Accessing keys. Do I do that? Oh. I guess update value is fine. But maybe this is better. I got an option to get an index with a default value. I'd love an example of that. This comma default. Okay. I'm working too hard here. Okay, let's take version to card sub card dot version default colon, and this is a list of cards. Okay, now I'm getting there. Sorry. Okay, so if it's that, its default is nothing. Okay, so I've got the list of cards already applying to that version dot dot append new element. Okay. Cannot use mutating version to card. Yes. Okay. And I'm going to put that in. So insert whatever that was. Accessing keys. Adding keys. Update value, I guess. Update value. For a given key. Update value for key. Version to card, and then the key is card.version. Okay, so version to card. Okay, so I'm going to run through my list. Okay, come on. Value of type nothing to expected argument type array of card. If I access this, cannot convert value version to card of this. Okay, let's see. I thought this should give me a value. Access the key with the given key, falling back to the default if it isn't found. Okay, so this should be, well, let's break it up. Let cards equal this. Make sure my types are right. I'm saying cards should be a list of cards. And if you don't have one, if you don't have any cards according to that key, then you should default it to nothing. And it still doesn't like it. Cannot convert value. Okay. Let's go back to array. I maybe... And they're sort of append. Well, why is cards? All right, cards, I think, is an array of cards. If I append to it, well, maybe that's the problem. Okay. I guess append is not returning anything. It's just being a thing. Okay, let's see how this looks. Run through each input, look up the card version. You should get a list of cards back, which is all the cards that have gone in there so far. Append the card to that list, because it's the list of cards with the same version, and then update the value of card.version to the new array sort. Okay. And then I think this is a two-step thing. Ugh. All right. Then I should be able to run through those keys and get a list of each one. But what's going to happen? All right. So row sort, you give it the list of all those cards and it comes back with an array of cards. Okay. So I think what we're going to do, and again, I'm probably taking too big a step here, but what I'm claiming is if you go through version to card dot keys dot sorted, okay, this should be the list of all versions, and then by sorted by. I think I can even just put an operator. Okay, I think I can just put greater than there. Comparing ints. Okay. Now I'm going to do for each on that. And this is a list of cards. And let's make a result. For our result of list of cards starts out empty. Okay, so now if I call row sort of card list and I append that, in there, then in the end I return result. Cannot convert dictionary of int to blah 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 blah. Oh, card list. No, I want version to card sub. Oh, these are the keys. Okay, so this is version in this. I'm going to do row sort of version to card dot subversion. Okay, and we know it exists because we just fetched it. Contents of. Append contents of row sort of that. Okay, so we're going to take each card, take each version that we have as keys to our version to key card thing. Pull out the list of cards that corresponds to that version, feed them off to sort, and then append them to our result and return that. Okay. And I think I should pass the test. That's too much code for that test. Yeah. Okay. Let's simplify. How can I check something simpler? Okay, let's make sure the answer is right first. Okay, so card 4 is in the newest version and it has the highest y coordinate. All right, and then card 2. Should card 2 come first? Maybe it should. His x coordinate is higher. Let's make his x 3. Okay, so it was 0.1, then I would say card 2 should come first. So let's see what we really got. It's kind of hard to judge. Yeah, I think that's too hard to make sense of. Maybe my string version of my card should be different. Okay, but before with 0.1, I think you would say it's in the same row because 0.15 to 0.25 or 0.22, so 11 is half, so 0.26. You would say that's between 0.15 and 0.26, and then sort by x coordinates before it would have come backwards. So let me run this test again. And then this one, 0.5, is definitely bigger than 0.2, and they're in the same row. Oh. Height 0.2, so it should be 0.1 to 0.2. Okay. Let's put this aside a second. Okay, I don't find that ID very helpful at all. I believe we have a test for this. Card string starts with card. Okay, so we don't really care what that is. Let's print the version. And position. And ID. The position is, well, I renamed the one. Let's rename this one too. Okay. Okay. We'll run this again. The card test should pass. I think we were pretty forgiving there. The tableau test, we should be able to read this thing and make sense of it. I don't know, those IDs. Okay, card, we got version 1, version 2. I got them backwards. Oh, wow. Do I have card 1? I got 4, 2, 1, 3. That's a permutation of 1, 2, 3, 4. And yet, version 1, oh, is not equal to. Okay, so this is card. This is what I got, I guess. Version 1 versus the version 2. Version 1 is not equal to version 2. Version 2 version 1. Okay. Well, it certainly looks like version 1s are coming out sooner. Let's stop while we're doing this and see what we got. Okay, so row sort version to card. I don't even think I have extract variable, do I? Oh, I do. Okay. This is card list. Okay. Let's break here and run this test. So what I want to check is, does it look like I'm getting a list of cards sorted by versions? It would sure help to call the right function, wouldn't it? Okay. Let's try that again. Also, I think I have to turn debugging on specifically to do this. No? Okay. We'll step over and print the card list. That's too much information. Card list, 2 values, version 2, version 2. Okay, well, that's promising. Let's continue. And look at card list again. Well, let's see. Print version 2 card.keys. Key 2. Key 1. Excuse me. Oh, we got to step over once. And now card list has 2 cards, both version 1. Okay. Let's run. Okay. We got card version 2.2.15. card version 2.3. Well, that sounds right. Wait a minute. Okay, version 2.2, 0.15, 0.31. X coordinate 0.2. Followed by card version 2.3. Well, X coordinate 0.3. I think that's in the same row. Okay, so those two seem correct. So 0.2, 0.15. Okay, so card 4, card 2. And then we got card 1, 0.2, 0.15, which is card 3. And card 0.5, which is card 1. Okay, so these two got correct. I'm sorted by versions, so that's good. This one is correct. This one is not correct. Is it my test or my code that's messed up now? Okay, so I would have thought card 3. Oh no, yeah, they're in the same row because 0.1 is the highest in that group, and it takes anything from 0.1 to 0.15, which this is close. Let's make sure this is truly within range. Okay. And if not, I may have some. And I'm expecting 3 then 1. Okay, let's do that. Or maybe better, let's make this 0.1. Okay, so it's the furthest left of the two version 1 cards. Okay. Well, I don't feel great about that process of getting there, but I think we're okay. All right. So what we've done is we sort Tableau with by version, then Y, then X. X within X with then X. Maybe that's the way to say it. This is sort of a fuzzy Y, and then within that X coordinates. Okay, and I think that's good. I mean, that's progress. All right, so I think that will be visible in what we run. Let's run it and see. All right, so we got this. We'll import these. I don't know how to characterize these. Can I make this bigger? Okay. Pay attention to the whiteness of the card. Okay, so I'll import these. Takes a couple of seconds. Okay, and then I'll go to the next image and import these. I think these are whiter, but what I should see is these mini cards should be before the few. So I shouldn't see yacht like we did before. I should see yacht, whatever this is. I don't know. I guess we're going by horizontal rows. Category something set of ones, full house. So I should see yacht ones full house. No. One's full house. We still have that yacht in there. Okay. Interesting. Well, maybe we haven't hooked it in to use it that way. We'll have to. I know we haven't actually. We named everything version 1. All right, let's take a break, 2 or 3 minutes again, and we'll come back and put something in content view so it's not always version 1. And I think that will make a difference. All right, see you in a couple or 3 minutes. Hello, welcome back. All right, so we think that if you were to put the versions in on the cards as you did imports, that our cards would load and sort correctly based on the test we did around sorting. And here we just hard code the version to 1. So what I think we want to do, and again, I think this is state on this struct. Private var, and this, let's make this load number, and the next number should be 1. Okay, and down here we'll use card is load number, and then load number plus equals 1. So next time this load takes the current load number and then it makes the next one ready to go. I don't know, is that backwards? Should I let's do it the other way around. Okay, so let's start at 0 and increment. I don't know. It feels subtle. Okay, but the load number increments as you do an import. That seems sensible. Then use that for the version and do your stuff. Okay, so pretty minimal. All right, so we import. And again, I'm looking for my cards to be separated. So yacht shows up on the bottom of the, or, well, there's 2 sets. How these rectangles, they look a little bit off horizontally. They're not consistent, and they're definitely off vertically. Let's see what we got. Yacht. Okay, this is looking better. Category 1's full house, game starts. All right, and we go down. We should find, that one is odd. We should find a yacht down here. All right, yacht. And then these definitely look like the same color of card. Okay, full house should be the last one on our main image. I guess we'd have to run again to see that. This one, it's something goes to 30. Yacht 5 of a kind goes to 50. So that should be the last one in the yacht section, the first section. Okay, so let's find the second yacht. Last card goes to 50. So I feel like that's probably a good sign. It's sorting the way we want. Woohoo. All right, so let's save that. All right, so make the version correspond to the load number. How many imports you've done. Okay. That's so I think what we've done. Well, okay. Yeah, so what we've done, we haven't done the matching, but we've done an import. So maybe let's say what we've accomplished. What we've done is imports track and sort by load number. um, by version, import number. Okay, that is what we've done. And I think that's a good thing. It's going to help us in these other steps. Imports, track and sort by load number. Yes, by version. Okay. Now, if the card is present, keep it with new placement. Ooh, well, if the card is present, I mean, we're saying show only or keep only the latest version. Okay, if it's new, add it. Is already present. And I don't know, maybe this is I'm trying to figure out what makes most sense to me. If it's new, add it with placement. If it's already present, keep only the latest version with new placement. If the card is omitted, move it to the omitted list. Well, let's call that the bottom. Okay. And then our idea was build a new tableau and merge. Okay. All right, let me just check, make sure. Oh, you're not seeing that. Okay, what is going on? Sorry to. I've lost something. Okay, current task. Why are you not showing? Okay, don't know. All right. I'm on a different computer. As I said, I'm moving, so it's a little crazy. Anyway, match the existing cards. Okay, so I don't think we need a new tableau the way we're doing it now. Okay, that's already taken care of. It's in the tableau. It's just on the bottom. Excuse me, 1 minute. Okay, so we've already dealt with the new cards showing up first and all that stuff. What we haven't done is if a card is already present, that's the thing we haven't done. So I think in effect we've done these. We've done this part. All right, so you import a new set. If it's new, it goes in with placement. If it's omitted, it moves to the bottom. But we haven't dealt with if the card is already present, keep only that version. And in effect, oh boy, this is a hard one. Okay, so I think we've got the pieces. I just have to kind of figure out how to assemble them. But we have something that, given a card, can match some subset of existing cards. And so I think what we're saying is, as you go to add a card, what's the right way to do this? As you go to add a card, you should check the existing cards, and if you're very similar to one of them, you want to remove that existing card. Oh, that sounds horrible. How's another way to look at it? I don't want to match n by n, right? That seems, I don't want to match every card against every other card, because it seems like you could only be equal to an existing card. You shouldn't be comparing to, you can't be the same as a card on your current import, I guess. I mean, I suppose you could come up with some way to do that. If I photocopied a card and imported the card and the photocopy, it it would theoretically match. But then I have to compare n squared, which seems off. Somehow it seems like less work if I have to only compare it to ones I've already imported. And that seems okay. That seems to be part of Tableau. Like when I'm going through, maybe it's a step up here. I've got these cards sorted by version. I see. It seems like I should be able to take my list of the latest. Yeah, so I think if I know that the previous cards theoretically don't match anything, so I shouldn't have to go to a previous card and say, do you match any earlier cards to you? I should only have to say, here's my new list. Do any of them match my previous lists? Okay. And so I need to do some refactoring, I think. I think what I've done here is I have this builds up the dictionary, right? So I should be able to say, well, I should be able to just extract method, but we'll see what they say. They take input and they give me an output. Okay, that's all right. Let's call this group. That's a common word for this process. So group and version to card. What's version to card? No, that's not right. Let's extract all this. Okay, because I don't modify version to card down here. Let's try another extract. And oh golly. Okay, let's break this apart. So I'm trying to let the tool tell me, kind of what it thinks the analysis is, because what I expect is I should be able to pass in the dictionary. Now, why did I have to? I don't want to do in out. All right, maybe this is not right. Why did it not do this? It doesn't like that. Let's take it anyway. Okay, this is static func group by and input cards and output array of cards. Output dictionary of int card. A little specialized. Ugh. Oops. Okay. So if I return version to card. Okay, so I'm starting off with my inputs. I'm basically filtering them by their versions, or grouping them by their versions into lists of cards. And I think that gives me that. Okay, so let's say version to card equals, well, let's put it here, equals group by card input. And then this stuff should be gone. Okay, so I kind of did an extract method. I wanted to, well, it will be, but sure. Okay, so I took the stuff that created the dictionary by reading each card and classifying it according to the version or grouping it by the version into a list and updating that list every time. Okay. And we return that list and then we group by and then we build our result list. Okay, so that should be a legitimate refactoring. I don't know why it didn't offer to do that for me because it seemed pretty innocuous, but okay. This should pass completely. It's a refactoring. All right. All right. How's this reading? So, version to card, group them by inputs, and then um, sort them by rows, I guess. Yeah, we can. Can I extract? Yes. Okay. So to sort these things, group them by inputs, then sort by rows. And return that result. Okay. I think, again, just a refactor. Okay. Now, I want to undo that. Fickle. Okay, let's pull out this. Maybe I'll call it all versions. Okay, so if we take those things, we sort them, take the keys, sort them. Okay, let's do that here. All versions for each. Okay. Now I want to extract this. All versions is a dictionary. Well, all versions is really int, array of int. Okay, and version to card is our dictionary. Okay. And test should pass. Right. Okay, so this was re-extract. Sort by rows. Okay, and I really wish I could get automated comments for that stuff, but Not yet. Okay, so now I think my sort makes more sense to me. So group the cards, group the inputs, list of cards according to their versions. Pull out the versions and sort them by greater than because we want most recent first. Then sort the rows according to all versions and version to card. So, in effect, do the sorts based on the dictionary. I think that seems right. And so you can think of this as sort of like preparatory refactoring. I've got something I want to do before I sort these things. I would like to go through and delete things. That's going to be a challenge. But really, I want to go through the most recent version. So that's all versions dot first, um, and that gives me one list of these things. I would like to take that and then remove cards that match on earlier versions, and that feels moderately complicated. I mean, this whole thing has grown quite a bit, and I think to some extent, like I think row sort, I think these two, they really do enforce left to right, top to bottom, left to right on the cards, and I'm sorting them from the 2D grid into a 1D list based on that. There's certainly a case to be made. I mean, I'm doing it by rows then columns, but one of our inputs, that yacht 2 file, it was really organized by columns, and I really should be doing columns then rows. And so um, there's something going on. I mean, there's a choice there. I don't think we can do it in a vision sense, although we probably you might be able to. You put bigger gaps between the one you want to sort by first, right? So the fact that the columns look pretty big. Okay. So to me, this one is clearly by rows, even though this gap is really big. But the average gap between the cards horizontally is smaller than the gap vertically. And if you look at the next image, the gap vertically is much smaller than the gap horizontally. So I think you could probably make a guess that this is sorted by columns, but I could also see you just tell me, these are columns. um, I don't know. And I've got another version in mind that so one version sorts by rows, another by columns, another is just maintain the 2D grid structure and maybe smooth it out a little bit, or you know um, make it more explicit or something. I wish I could level these cards that are a little bit twisted, because it's hard to lay cards out consistently exactly horizontally. And actually, I don't know, this is the back of a quilt. You can see I've got some guidelines because of the way my wife quilted it. All right. So where are we? I guess at this point, what I'd like to say is something should happen between here and here. That if you find cards that are identical, we should remove them from the list before we do the whole sort thing. And I guess this is the moment. If a card is already in an earlier import, it gets deleted from the earlier ones and retained in this one. Okay, and also let's find. I mean, we had this image comparator, best match. I think, I think best match is probably not quite right. What? Oh, you give it a card, and then in a list of cards you find the best match. I really should give this. I think I should give it a cutoff value too. Like a good match has a score of less than 10 or something like that. And that's this feature distance thing. min scores. I get the scores by asking each card for its feature distance from the target. Okay. Um. All right. So I think, let's see. Let me. Where was that before? Where we swapped around? That was in card, I think. Yeah, I think we should be asking self dot features against card dot features. So let's make sure that doesn't change anything. Okay, so um, the distance, you take your own features and you ask about the features in the other card. Okay, that makes sense to me. It should be the same number either way, but I just think it's sort of a this and that thing, or self and other. Okay, so what I did was change distance comparator to swap order of arguments. And I guess that is a refactor. Even if it's not in Martin Fowler's catalog. It's kind of semantic specific to this thing. And I can only do that because I'm making this assumption that distance from A to B is equal to distance from B to A. Nothing in this tells me that. It's just my assumption of what it means to have a distance. Okay. Let's see. What can we find here? Yeah, this one, card 2, card 3 are very similar. Okay, yeah. So card 3, that's the one I modified. This has a much higher contrast than Yacht 2. Oh, whoops. Than Yacht 1. Unfortunately, because I took this is probably a flash picture, you can see the ones in the middle are a little almost like overexposed, right? These look nice black. It was a black marker, which is never truly black, but it's clear that this black is not the same as this kind of grayish black. Unfortunately, and I don't know. I mean, you can do these things like in GIMP or Photoshop or something to, you know, minimize the number of colors and set the contrast higher and all that stuff to try and bring out these images more. And I think we would benefit from that. I almost, yeah, it's like if we could just push the darkest color to black or to the extreme of what it is. I can imagine using a handful of colors on these things, but not dozens. All right. So I think where we'll pick up next time, let's leave ourselves a little note. So in the tableau, we need to enforce that. Okay, so if card is only present, and then let's see tableau dot swift. Okay, so we'll start there and run through the latest import once through each card in that import, removing it from earlier versions. Okay, and see how that goes. It's definitely something that's going to happen here. I don't know. Like, should I plug in something that's going to do that? I'm not sure. Okay. It feels like there should be something. I don't know. This all seems a little more complicated than I want it to be, but I do think, I mean, I'm segregating these things by key. That's really the right thing to do. And then I've got to figure out which rows are in the same row and then actually sort them in that row. So I don't know. Um, we'll see. I mean, there's scope for improving it. Um, Yeah, we got top row sword here. Card 1 position, min Y, less than min Y. Okay, I'm not doing half a card or anything here. I probably should, but anyway, we'll pick up there next time. So next time is Sunday in a couple days here, and 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We're on that, and apparently may go off it for one more year and then on it forever is the theory. um, we'll see what happens politically and there, but I'm pretty sure next week 1 to 3 Eastern Daylight Time should be right. All right, thanks for joining me today, and I hope I catch you in the future. Take care. Bye bye.